money in part to keep the team's core together, telling The Athletic, quote, "I wanted to keep the team together, and I thought it was going to help the ownership bring all the guys back. And on top of that, it's my money. It's my decision, and I can do what the hell I want with it." Stephen A., is Durant right about the money?
Absolutely. 1,000%. I agree with every word he said. It is his money. He can do what the hell he wants.
He kind of sounded like you,
it.
Stephen A., with that answer.
You know what? I don't. You know, clearly he watches the show and he listens. I mean, because that's exactly what I would have said. I mean, he took the words right out of my mouth. He's absolutely, positively right. Let me take a moment to sit up there and say, "Hi, Mama Durant. How you doing? I hope you're watching. It's always good to see you. Always good to love you dearly." Anyway, let me get back. Let me get back to the sun.
Nice about your boy.
That's what I'm saying. Something nice about your boy. Now, the bottom line is Kevin Durant is absolutely correct. It is his money. It is his decision. And he can do what the hell he wants with it. And, oh, by the way, what are we really talking about here? Kevin Durant has got an endorsement deal making over $300 million, okay? So we know that. We know he's going to get money down the pike. He's one of the top 2 players in the world. He's now a champion. His stock is only growing. He's as far as I'm concerned, he's the greatest scorer in the game. And so when I look at it from that perspective, and he said, what did he say? "I want to keep the team together." So, in other words, the Iguodala's of the world, the Sean Livingstons of the world, along with a Steph Curry or Klay Thompson. He knew that Steph Curry deserved every penny he got because Steph Curry had been there all this time, paying his dues within the organization. So he didn't have to sit up there and shave anything. He deserved that max deal. Get that $207 million contract with the 15% trade kicker, by the way. We understand that that's exactly what Steph Curry deserved, and he got it. Kevin Durant is saying, "I just got here, and I want to keep these guys together. I don't want us in a position where we got to lose anybody right now because chemistry and camaraderie is paramount." He would know, and I applaud his decision, and I respect his words because he's right on the money.
In an open market, the kind of markets with very little restrictions like all the wealthy owners in the NBA enjoy. That's how they accrued their fortune. They amassed their fortune so that they could buy an NBA team. In an open market, Kevin Durant would be paid $100 million at least, Stephen A., something like that. If all the teams could bid whatever they wanted, you don't think the Knicks or the Lakers would get up to $100 million? I think they would at least.
What you mean? Are you saying per year? You saying per year?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sure.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, Kevin Durant. Yeah. Kevin Durant is worth more than anyone in this league outside of LeBron James,
except for LeBron. Right, and I would argue Kawhi, but we could it's nitpicking. The point is that there's a max contract and a salary cap. What is that about? That's not about competitive balance. Competitive balance is interesting to the owners only insofar as it's good for their bottom line. That's the only reason they're interested in it. And the fact is they're not that interested in it. What the cap and the max contracts are really about are redistributing wealth from the players to the owners. So you're right in terms of a superficial and very literal kind of reading of what Kevin Durant said. And Durant's heart is in the right place. He's competitive. He's not sweating the money. Good for him. Great guy. That's who you want on your team, on your franchise, who you want to root for. And he's right. It's his money. Whose business is it other than his? Well, he's part of a players' union, and they negotiate against the owners. And players before him have fought so that there is an environment where he can get so rich. And players after him will be affected by the decisions he makes. Even players in the league presently are affected by these kind of decisions. A max contract unfairly limits what he can make per year in the first place. But then the cap is designed so that if he wants to play on a great team, he has to take even less than the max contract, handing that money back to the owners. The owners have created a situation where the players have to not only artificially take less than they're worth, but then if they're competitive, have to give even more money back, even redistribute even more wealth toward the owners. Now, is that a big deal to people listening to me right now? If you're driving a truck right now, are you sweating that? No. These guys are all rich beyond your imagination, right? And that includes Kevin Durant. Nevertheless, this is a business. Kevin Durant is in business not only for himself, but also with other players, teammates and other players in the league. He was affected by what came before him. He will affect what comes after him. So it's not quite so simple as he's making it out to be. This is handing the owners another victory in the ongoing kind of negotiation with the players.
Well, let me make it very, very simple and significantly less complicated than you just did with your soliloquy. The players already, their rights belong to the Golden State Warriors. You basically saved the owners some tax dollars. That's basically what he did. As a result, the owners clearly win. You're absolutely right. There's nothing wrong about what you said. But there's nothing wrong about Kevin Durant deciding to make that decision for himself in terms of, because the question was what he said. Was he wrong? He's right about everything he said. It is his money. It is his decision. And he can do what the hell he wants. And clearly he wanted to save the owners' money. That's what he wanted to do because the owners gave an indication that if you didn't do that, then eventually somebody else was going to pay. We were going to move somebody or something was going to happen down the line that you didn't like. And Kevin Durant capitulated, and that's what it is. Now, there are those who will make the argument that when you are the best, you should never take less. That sets a bad precedent. I happen to agree with that. But the reason I still defend Kevin Durant's position is because Kevin Durant says he doesn't care about that. And if he doesn't care about that, I have to respect it. I would not do it, but I respect where he's coming from.
Real quick, he's right about that. You're right. But the reason the cap exists, like without a cap, the players basically use the owner's own competitiveness against them. In other words, a lot of owners are so competitive that even when it's not in their best business interest, they'll fork over money because they want a better team, right? What the cap does and the max contract does is turn that back on the players. Okay, players, you're so competitive that you're willing to give up money? That's fine. Really think about what they're saying, Stephen A. We don't want to pay this luxury tax, KD. So since we don't want to have to pay it, we're not that competitive. How competitive are you? Will you pay it?
Yep.
We're going to pass that luxury tax essentially onto you. And KD, because he's more
That's what I
competitive
said,
than
Max.
the owners, is paying the tax.
Completely
That's
get
what
what
I
you're
said.
saying. But he's essentially reinvesting back into the roster, allowing the players that recruited him to re-sign those players that helped him get his first chip. We got to leave it there, gentlemen.
Hey, Molly, do you notice how Max feels the need to explain what I explained? Yes, I mean, I said what you said.
I'm
You
not
didn't think
getting
they
involved in
understood me,
that one.
Max?
Yeah, kind of, a little bit.
Innocent
not
bystander.
exactly.